Hi, I'm Tom from Dignity Lifts, and I'm proud to show you our HL1, the Helper Lift. We call it the Helper Lift because it helps people. It helps two people. One is the person being lifted, and also the person is lifting them. I'll explain why. Um, the Helper Lift is a one-person assist lift, which means that, say, a spouse or a family member or a single caregiver can lift a person. Who's that person? Well, they're what's called a mobility level 2 patient. Mobility level 2 means that this person can sit up at the bedside unassisted. They can get themselves from a laying down position up to a seated position stably by themselves. Um, Level 2 patients don't need to be able to bear any weight on their feet. They don't need to be able to stand. That's level 3. But they do need to be able to sit up unassisted. If you can do that, or your person can do that, the Helper Lift is a great alternative. Prior to this product, level 2 patients and level 1 patients, people that cannot sit up on their own, were required to use a Hoyer lift. Hoyer lifts are big, they're a two-person assist, and they're a little clunky. So the Helper Lift is a smoother way to do the job if you have a level 2 person. So here's how it works. It's kind of like a forklift for a person. I know that sounds like a funny thing to say, but I'll describe it. The first thing is when the person gets up in the morning, we're going to have the seat back off of the lift, and the sling, which is here and attaches with these sort of seatbelt devices, the sling will be off the lift as well. So you can see the sling that has a hole in it for toileting purposes, but it doesn't necessarily have to be used only for that. So we'll talk about that. So in first thing in the morning, someone's going to wake up. They're probably in a fetal position or something like that. This can be positioned on the bedside, and then they can sit up upon it. So when they are seated on the bedside, the helper will push the lift into position so that the person is now here. They will clip with these seatbelt clips the sling into position. They might have to lower the lift down low enough to get to that position, and they certainly will want the lift in a low position so that they can lift the person up from there. So clipping the seat belts into place. As you can see, they're adjustable. So if there's a different bed height or seat height, you can adjust the sling to get in the right position so that you can lift them from there. And then most importantly, before we move them anywhere or lift them up, we're going to put the seat back behind them. So our person is going to be sitting right here, and our operator is going to be right here. They will be facing one another. The person can put their arms on the armrests and their hands on this bar. Their feet can go down here on the grips, and they are seated on this lift. Now, our helper at this point can use the remote and lift them up. So unlike a Hoyer lift where we're lifting them way up in the air, the helper lift just needs to lift them so that they're clear off the bed. Usually it's only an inch or two. It does lift 9 inches, but that's usually to get them to a different height. Say you want to go from the bed to a kitchen chair that might be 4 inches taller, you can keep lifting until they're at that position. So now that they're lifted up, we have mobility. The person's weight is held low and it's very stable in there, and they have something to hold on to. They can't move very far because they're inside the helper lift. The helper lift is very narrow. It's small enough that it fits into residential bathrooms easily. It's fairly compact, and again, it can be used by one person. It's easy to maneuver a person in the helper lift because their weight is low and they're in the center of the lift. Unlike a Hoyer lift, there's no sway or swinging. They really can't go very far in a helper lift. So where do you want them to go? Well, they can go anywhere they want to go inside the home, usually first thing in the morning to the toilet, then possibly bath, right? Drop them at a shower chair and they can go from there. This will not go in the shower, but it can get you to a shower chair, especially if you have a zero entry shower. You can get right in there. Other people might use a transfer bench. Where else do you want to go? Well, here's where the helper lift really shines. One person, usually an assistant or most likely a family member, can bring their person to the kitchen table, to the dining room table, to a favorite place they like to read, to an easy chair, to the couch. There are a number of locations that you can take someone with the helper lift. It can go up high, down low, can't go as high as a bar stool, but it goes to pretty much every chair or seating spot you have in the home. All it needs is some access for the wheels below. So, can you transfer someone to a wheelchair? Absolutely. Mobility scooter? Most you can. They need a little clearance for us to get under them, but we can transfer someone to almost anywhere. When you transfer them, you'll get them in position, you'll lower them onto the seat, and then you can take the seat back off, unclip the slings, and leave them there to be comfortable. The helper lift doesn't need to be around them all the time, but if you want to stop off at the table for a quick meal, you can wheel the person in the helper lift right up to the table and have it sit there. The helper lift just has a few components. There's the frame itself, which does break down for travel if you want to. There's a rechargeable battery. There's a remote control. Got a button for up and a button for down. It comes with the slings and the seat back. So very easy to use. We really like it. It is different than a Hoyer lift because it keeps the patient low. There's less sway. It fits through doorways easily. And it's a one-person assist, where at most facilities a Hoyer lift is usually recommended to be a two-person assist. It allows this person a lot of freedom of movement. They can sit where they want to sit. It is, I will remind you, the person is required to sit upright independently without assistance. They need to be able to sit upright on the bedside safely so that the helper can maneuver around them with the sling and other things like that. If they need assistance staying upright stably, this is not a great lift for them. They need to be, but if they can do that and they just can't put weight on their feet for some reason, like some muscular reason, they're a perfect candidate for our helper lift. I'm Tom from Dignity Lifts. You can find our products at dignitylifts.com, and we have dealers around the country. Contact them about a helper lift. So thanks for watching.